is Jasmine, and this is Crazy Cat Tarot.
I know just what you need in. You want something to believe in. Looking for a deeper meaning. Maybe I've got what you're seeking. Take a puff, it's the weekend. Listen up, don't be freaking. Can't you tell that I'm peeking? Coming swim in the deep end.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Jasmine's Crazy Cat Tarot. And today I want to ask the question, what is the toxic tea about the person on your mind? So this person could be the object of your affection or someone you're not in contact with. It could be a friend, a family member, but whoever it is, let's find out the toxic tea about them just because we can. So why not? So once you've decided which card you're drawn to, you can pick more than one also. You can find your timestamps down in the description below, and I will meet you at the reading, and let's spill that hot and toxic tea together. Hello and welcome group 1. So if you are drawn to the first card, the 5 of Cups, allow me to spill the tea about the person on your mind, whether that be a lover or your worst enemy. And first off, I feel like this person, whoever it is, if they're your lover, they're the best lover, but if they're your enemy, they're the worst enemy. It feels like this is a person of extremes, and there's not really an in-between or a grey area. And also, before we continue, if you notice that my voice sounds a bit strange, deeper than usual, my glands are swollen at the moment, so work with me. But if you're struggling to hear, hopefully the subtitles will be available. But I'm going to try to speak close to the camera because I'm not at my best right now. So yeah, there's a channeled message. The person on your mind, they could be the best, they could be the worst, but they're not feeling at their personal best right now. With the 5 of Cups, this is literally the loss card. So this person could be dealing with a lot of grief right now. They could have lost a job, a family member. They could have lost their sense of identity. But I feel like right now they're in a spiritual awakening and they're finding whatever it was that they'd lost. So even if they lost their sense of self, they're in the process of really cementing who they are. So this person could be very stable, and financially they don't like to rely on anyone else. They're also very independent, so they don't like to ask for help, even if they're going through loss, going through grief. So if they're not currently dealing with this, they could have dealt with grief in their past, and this has become a significant part about who they are. They have lost a lot, but they've gained a lot of wisdom, and they're in the process of turning their lessons into wisdom. And I feel like this person is very wise, so they could be a great spiritual teacher one day, or they could be a teacher of some sort. Someone who gives great advice nonetheless. With the 7 of Wands, this is someone that stays true to their values, no matter who agrees or disagrees. They're not someone who backs down easily. Maybe in the past they would have even went into battle for what and who they believed in. But I feel like they're becoming more calm, the more spiritually aware and awakened they're becoming. So even if in the past they made bold moves and they had a lot of arguments with others and they wouldn't go down without a fight, this person is now learning how to choose their battles because their energy is very precious to them and they don't want to waste energy like they have in the past by fighting fruitless battles or fighting for people who are on their back and don't have their back. So this is a suspicion they have. They might even be wondering this about you. If this is someone new, they could be wondering, are you going to have their back, or are you going to be on their back? Do you want to pour into them or take from them? They're very guarded. They could be very closed off right now. They could have a stalker in their midst, and this could be in the form of an ex from their past, someone who won't let go, someone who still wants to have control or a hold over them. And that could be what's kept them closed off, especially if this person is someone that you're romantically connected with. You could feel like there's a wall there. And this is very intentional. I feel like everything group one this person does is very intentional. They're very thought-based. They're very self-aware. But they're also treading carefully. So this could be because in the past they've lost a lot, or they've learned a lot of lessons the hard way, and they don't want to make the same mistakes again. They're very cautious and careful, but you could feel like there's a block, and this person is an island, and you're waiting for an invitation that maybe still hasn't come, or maybe if you've been offering this person things, they're not quick to accept your offers because they're very suspicious. They wonder if everyone has an ulterior motive because they've dealt with people having ulterior motives. I also feel like they understand the concept because they themselves have had ulterior motives in the past. I was going to say interior motives. So their motives are always about going deep into self. This is why they're having this deep spiritual awakening. So they don't want to invite any energies in while they're still healing. And they do question not only others' motives, but their own. They want to do things for the right reasons and not just for the sake of it. As I said, they're very intentional. So if you're in their life, this is very intentional. You could feel honored to be a part of this person's life, especially if they keep to themselves or are more of a lone wolf kind of energy. With the forager here, self-reliance, this is just confirming that this person is very independent. They like to fend and forage for themselves. They don't feel like they need protection because it's like they view this as a weakness. But maybe they do need comforting. This person could be a parent for some of you. This person could even be a single parent, and that could be what makes them extra guarded because they have mouths to feed, they have things to do, they have others that they need to provide for. So I feel like this person takes their responsibilities very seriously, even if they're not a parent. This is someone who knows how to provide for themselves. So when it comes to having a child, they're going to be very intentional about it, and they're going to take it as a matter of pride that they can provide. They don't want to look to others to do things that they feel they should be able to do themselves inherently. So this person could be naturally gifted, have a lot of inherent gifts from within. Yeah. They're very, very mind orientated. With the Page of Pentacles, they have big goals. They're very ambitious. They're also very creative. They're very loyal to those they love, but they're not quick to give their loyalty because before the loyalty comes the suspicion. You may need to prove yourself to this person. But they are very diligent. Once they start something, they won't stop. They're like a dog with a bone. They're very obsessed, very one extreme or the other. They could also have stalker tendencies themselves. So if they're not the one being stalked, they could be the one doing the stalking, either to an ex or even to you. This person just has these tendencies because they want to know the inside scoop. They could be a great detective. They could like observing others, learning about psychology. This person could also have their own traumas, their own things that have shaped their psychological mind. So that's why they're so fascinated with. But it could also lead them to some toxic thoughts and behaviors sometimes. So the toxic tea that they're not quick to tell people is that they're broke as fuck right now. They feel like it's too late for them to really fully achieve their hopes and their dreams. They feel like they've wasted time in the past because they didn't learn their lessons quick enough. They're very hard on themselves and they're quick to blame themselves. So I feel like even if this person does have enemies, they're self-aware enough to know that there's a reason these people don't like them. It's like if they know they piss someone off, they go out of their way to rub salt in the wound. They could be toxic in that way, that they like to assert dominance and control, but in sneaky ways. They could be manipulative, but this could be from dealing with the manipulative types. It takes one to know one. So this person could have learned from an early age how to manipulate. Or when it comes to relationships, they just see relationships as toxicity and manipulation. And they worry that everyone is going to backstab them when their back is turned. So they're kind of like a cat that when they trust you, they will relax and they'll stretch out. They'll show you their stomach because they don't think you're going to hurt them. But they won't just do that for anyone because they worry who could be a predator. They're not going to show a bigger animal its vulnerable places or its vulnerabilities until they figure out what their motive is, what's their intention. So this person is deliberately slow and very intentionally choosy with their energy, who and when to give it to. So you could feel like this person is an enigma, but you want to know more and more about them. But you could feel the harder you push or the more pressure you put on, the further they pull away. And I feel like when they get creative or they get into the zone, their imagination is their safe place because maybe they find it hard to view love as a safe place for one reason or the other. They just kind of view love in a negative light. So if you are in their life, the advice for you is to let this person know you're here to collaborate with them. You're not here to take over the jigsaw puzzle, but you're here to help them put the pieces back together again. As I said, they've dealt with a lot of loss, so they're kind of used to maneuvering around this void, this emptiness. So if you don't come proclaiming that I'm what you're missing, you need me, well then they might be more open to the advances because they're very independent. So they may even get offended if someone is too pushy with them or makes them feel like they need them. They don't want to need anyone. It's a matter of pride for them. It does come from their insecurities. So they just want to know that you're going to be part of their team. You're going to work with them instead of against them. Because in the past, they feel like they've been pissing against the wind, swimming against the tide. So they just want someone who they can go with the flow with. And they could be a bit of a control freak because they worry that bad things can happen. They do have a lot of positive goals in their mind that they want to reach, but this person could have a tendency to be a bit naturally gloomy and a tendency to go within instead of seeking help from exterior people, even when they need it most. So this is what you need to know about this person. They're not going to be quick to reach out when they're having problems, issues, or going through things. They're not going to ask you for help. But if you help in the little ways without making a song and dance about it, because they feel like by doing that, it's an ulterior motive by helping to get the admiration. They want someone who wants to do it just because they want to be there for them, just because they want to, and for no other reason. When it comes to love, this person thinks, what's the catch? And they might even find themselves getting stalker tendencies, trying to catch others out, because that's how deep their trust issues go. What's the catch? They're always trying to find out what that is. They're waiting for someone to jump out and say, you've been punked. So it's about proving to this person that you have pure and genuine intentions, no matter whether this is a friend, a family member, a lover, or even a potential of any of these things. They just want to know you're there for the right reasons instead of the wrong reasons. So thank you for being here. Make sure to let me know down below if you like this, if you resonated, if you have any feedback or Pickacard suggestions. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if we are parting ways here, thank you for being here. And I hope to see you again in the next one. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah. Hello and welcome to your reading group 2. So just quickly, a PSA, if my voice sounds strange, deeper than usual, I have swollen glands right now. So if you're struggling to hear me, you can put on the subtitles. Hopefully they will be available in the video, but let me know if not, and I can find a way to turn them on. Okay, so for some of you, this could be someone who you are connecting with on a romantic level. It could even be a potential romantic connection, a match, or a potential perfect match. But you're still figuring out the sus, what's the 411. So if this is the case, let me inform you of the tea, the toxic tea on this person. So the King of Pentacles would be what's known as the sugar daddy card. So if this person is wealthy, this could signify the person on your mind. But if this person is not wealthy, I feel like they have big dreams, big ambitions, and they just want to find their perfect match, because we do have the Queen of Pentacles that came up. So the King to the Queen of Pentacles is a perfect match. And with the Two of Cups, hello. I mean, how much more perfect could this match be? So on surface level, this person could be your perfect match. And that's what you could be asking is, what's the catch? Especially if this person seems too good to be true. So the catch group 2 is that this person comes with bad karma. So they have a lot of energy pent up, built up from the past. They may hold grudges. They may also have unresolved situations or unresolved trauma. And they carry a lot of this negativity with them. So by connecting with them, especially for some of you on an intimate level, if this isn't a friend or a family member, by connecting with them on that level, the soul level, they're kind of transferring this bad karma onto you. So if you've been wondering what's the catch, but you kind of have wondered, well, maybe this person has a past. What if this past comes back to haunt them? So this could be the case. You could be connecting with someone who has not fully resolved their past or the issues. They could still have a lot of ongoing matters. This could be legal, or this could even be relationships that they've kind of not fully ended but not fully invested in. This person could have been a commitment phobe in the past, or you could feel like it's just hard to really tie this person down. But when this person likes you, you know all about it, because they can actually be quite forceful with their love, especially when they're attracted to you and they want to have a connection. They want to force a connection sometimes. So sometimes they may force themselves on people on a romantic sense, maybe on a friendship sense. I feel like this person could maybe have an anxious attachment style. They could also need a lot of reassurance, a lot of affection. They're very physical, and silence doesn't do it for them. No, that's not their cup of tea. Their toxic tea is their everything all at once. Maybe in the past, people have said to this person or about this person that they're a bit much or a bit too much. Because when they're excited, they can't really control their excitement. So they could be like a kid at Christmas, especially when they feel like they're about to receive something. They love gifts, but it's not in a monetary sense. I feel like this person likes to be thought of and made to feel like they really have been considered. Yeah, because their lack of consideration to others in the past has been a projection of the lack of consideration that's been shown to them. So they were leading by example, and they were doing the wrong things, living the wrong kind of life. So even if now they've changed their ways and turned a new leaf, the consequences could still be catching up with them, hence the bad karma. But I feel like if this is someone that you are romantic with, you could have matched on a dating app, and they could feel like you're their twin flame. So they feel like this is a match made in heaven. But I feel like they have had maybe a checkered past when it comes to their dating life. They might even have a set type, but they feel like you're a catch, a match. And in the past, they feel like they've been duped. And they could have felt like there was a curse on them. So this person literally could have felt cursed, especially in their love life. They could have been unlucky in love. They could have felt rejected. Like, while the world was falling in love and settling down, they were on the prowl on their own, misunderstood. They feel like maybe society rejected them, or they feel like a societal reject for one reason or another, their personality, even their sexuality for some of you. They could have even rejected themselves on a deep inherent level, that until they learned to embrace themselves fully, they were carrying around this chip on their shoulder. Yeah, it's like they had the weight of the world on their shoulder, but they're trying to ease these burdens. Someone could be 36, but with the koi fish spirit here, there is always enough. They've clung to things, to people, to outcomes, because they've been worried that they're going to be left without, that everyone else is going to be matched up and loved up, and they're going to be the odd one out. So this is the reassurance that they need, that there is always enough to go around. You don't have to cling to anything, because what's meant for you will come, and whatever will be, will be. What's that song? Who sings that? Is it Doris Day? Que sera, whatever will be, will be. Yeah, this person is trying to get into that more reflective and connected mindset and just accept things for what they are, because it stresses them out and it tenses them up when they're trying to fight against destiny. Yeah, they fought their own destiny for a long time, so they're trying to learn to be more spiritually aware and connected in a deeper way, not only to themselves, but to the world and to others around them. So they could be very spiritual, they could be very natural. They don't like fakeness. If they're feminine, I don't feel like they like wearing an excess of makeup, or if they're masculine, they don't feel the need to go overboard and beat their chest and, you know, go all Tarzan crazy on people to prove how, you know, in sync they are with the world. They know that by sometimes taking a back seat, that it will all unfold as it's supposed to. Yeah, so they're trying to learn how to take a back seat when they need to, because they could have been driving on the highway to hell like a bat out of hell in the wrong direction. So it's like they're backpedaling and they're like, okay, wait. Let me go back, start again, and do this the right way. So maybe they could be viewing you as the perfect match, the right one for them after a lot of epic fails. You could be their great win. But with the 9 of Cups reversed, this could tell me that even when their dreams came true, they found a way of sabotaging it. They could self-sabotage a lot, but their selfishness has held them back in the past, because they hyper-focus on imperfections in relationships in others, even with themselves. But this turns something that could be a wish come true into a nightmare, because this person can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes. When they spiral, they can get very forceful, they can get very negative, trying to find what's wrong even in something that's right, because they're bad karma, because their past and their consequences have shown them that, hey, even when you thought your wishes have come true, you've been duped. Look, heartbroken again. Yeah, they could have been very heartbroken in the past, but I feel like they're very focused on their home family life, This person could deeply want to have a connection that leads to a family, that leads to children. This is heavy earth sign energy. You could be an earth sign or they could be, but the energy they bring is like that energy of home, stability. And you could want to lock them down or they could want to lock you down. And when they want to lock you down, they're very forceful about it. They could lock you in and throw away the key. Yeah, because when they want you and you're going to know all about it. But in the past, they've taken the easy way out. Instead of taking on more responsibilities, they've kind of ran away from responsibilities in the past. But I feel like this is them now facing what they've been running from all this time. They've been careless. They've been irresponsible, and now they want to care. They want to be responsible. They want to connect with someone and they want to build with someone. But in the past, they've disconnected because of their own fear of rejection a lot of the time. So this is them dropping the fear of rejection and taking on that responsible mindset. They're trying to change their mindset first before they change their life. But I feel like this person definitely does want to expand their life. They want that abundance with the midwife here. This person could want to have a child. That could be their next goal in life. But they don't want to pass this bad karma onto a child. So this parent could parent. This person could already be a parent. I seen 1111. But if they are not, this is what they want. They want that 1111 kind of energy with a partner. They want that stable home to create within. Yeah. But they haven't felt safe enough to completely submit to anyone. They could be very stubborn, definitely earth sign energy. But they want to give, they want to nurture, they want to nourish. When they give it all with the koi fish spirit. But sometimes their fear of rejection, their fear of lack, they're stuck in a lack mindset and that's their bad karma. So the only way of breaking this bad karma is to change their mindset. So I feel like maybe this person could have had an ego death or they could be in the process of some sort of spiritual awakening. And it's like they know that what they have in front of them is a great investment, an opportunity, a perfect match. But they're used to sabotaging any good thing that happens in their life. So they're kind of not sure whether to allow you on board or tell you to walk the plank. They could be undecided. And that could be frustrating for you because this person could seem a bit flaky. I am hearing a song by Fiona Apple called Oh Sailor. Someone could love the sea or someone could be connected to the sea in that way. But yeah, I'm just thinking of the first line and she's just saying she's undecided about someone. So this is the place whoever you're thinking about is in. They want to be that King of Pentacles. They want to be the sugar mama, sugar daddy of their own life, but they know they can't do it all by themselves. When they've tried before, they've dropped the ball. When they've tried to get the bag in the past, they've fumbled it. Even when they've had love, they've sabotaged it. And they see you as this perfect new opportunity. But also in the song, she says, anything good I deem too good to be true. Anything else is just a bore. Yeah, so they're easily bored. They're quick to jump ship sometimes. And, even when good opportunities present themselves, this person is skeptical because in the past they've been tricked and they don't want that to happen again. But they know an opportunity when they see one. And it's like they're viewing you as the Midas touch and they just want you and your good karma to rub off on them. But be careful what you wish for because, even things that seem too good to be true, once we take a deeper or a closer look, we see that nothing is perfect and no one is perfect. So this person is just learning that lesson. And I feel like you are too, because they're certainly not perfect. And they're starting to accept that about themselves. And the more they accept, the more open they'll be to change, and by changing, they will change this bad karma that they've created for themselves. And they will birth a lot of new opportunities and abundance in their life, but abundance can't come with a lack mindset. So this person wouldn't tell you they have a lack mindset. Maybe they're not aware of it, but that is the toxic tea about them. So just make sure it doesn't rub off on you. In fact, maybe you could help them have a more positive mindset, and you could rub some of your good advice, wisdom, and good karma onto them, and it really might change them for the better. So let me know down below if you enjoyed this, if you resonated, if you have any future Pickacard suggestions. I'd love to hear them. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Personal readings are available. Info is on my homepage. And if we're parting ways, thank you for being here. And I hope to see you again in the next one. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah. Hello and welcome to your reading, group 3. So if you are drawn to the third card, the Chariot, you are here in the right place. So the toxic tea about the person on your mind. And just a PSA, I have swollen glands at the moment, so if you're struggling to hear me, that's why. Put on the subtitles if you are finding it difficult. So anyway, let's get to the point. The Chariot is all about getting to the point. So this person could be very direct, or you could directly want to address something with this person. But they mightn't be all direct. They could be the type that could hit and run with the Chariot. So this could be someone that likes to hit and dip, but when it comes to the actual maintenance, you know, they want to drive the Chariot, but when it comes to actually fixing the car, they could run. Yeah, so they want the fun, they want the joyride, but they don't necessarily want the maintenance, the hard work that comes with it. Yeah, so this person could be all about the good time. But they could be very ambitious. They could be a go-getter sort of an energy. They could also give off that black cat kind of an energy that you don't fully know how to place them, or you find them very mysterious. You kind of know that they're not revealing their true self, their true intentions. They always keep you guessing or keep you on your toes. So the toxic tea is that they could have you in a love triangle situation. So if this is someone you're being romantic with, they could have someone else either on the side, or you could be the side piece. Take as it resonates, or even this person could be your side piece. So regardless of where you fit in the triangle, I feel like there could be a triangle here somewhere, even if it's not clear to you, because this person, they could come off as very direct, very confident, but there are hidden parts of them, hidden parts of their life. So they could be very secretive about their love life, even about their sex life. I feel like when they're your lover, they are very obsessed and they're very intense. And if anything, they can take it to a dangerous, unhealthy, and toxic level. So they are a great lover, but they're not fully defining what a lover means. I don't think they take their commitment seriously. And this could be a struggle you have with them. So this could be someone you're connected with, even that has an obsessive ex, that you're questioning, you know, is this fully over? Why is this person or this person's ex so obsessed with them? But I feel like it's the energy they give off. It's like they leave people wanting more. Even the people that they've personally had enough of, these people still want more long after they've gone. So I do feel like this person likes to put on a brave face, a facade to the world. I've seen 333. So they want to keep up appearances, and they don't like to air their dirty laundry. They don't want to get exposed, but they don't want their business to be exposed either. They want to look good in public, and they want to give off this impression that maybe butter wouldn't melt, or that their life is great. They're all about success and go getting it. But behind the scenes and, you know, in the shadows, they could be very obsessive when they know nobody's looking. Because when nobody's looking, or you think nobody's looking, this person is looking, group number 3. I feel like they're ashamed of their actions. They at least have the decency to be ashamed of the fact that they're so obsessive, and that maybe they're messing with people's feelings, especially if they've got more than one person on the go. They're stringing along more than one person, and they're not being honest with any of them. And they know they're in the wrong. But it feels so good. They're, you know, when they're in that chariot, they're not thinking of the consequences. So this could even be the sort of person who speeds when they're driving. They could even drink and drive. This is someone who is just in a rush, but it's like they're heading straight for a disaster. They want to give off the impression that they're living in the moment. They're having the time of their life, that their life is something to be envious of. So they could post a lot on social media and act like they have money, or they've got great experiences. They could fake flex because they want people to think they're having the time of their life. But in reality, when they've got free time, they're messing people around and they're obsessing over these same people that they're hurting. So it's a bit counteractive, counterproductive. This person could be counterproductive when it comes to love, when it comes to their relationship. With the cat spirit, 13 could be significant. I feel like this person is very independent, but the fact that they feel the need to have ongoing situations or even situationships shows that they haven't fully stepped into that black cat mindset. They might give off that impression, but it's like with the fake smiles. What they're presenting to the world isn't truly what they are. So they might act all black cat, but when it comes down to it, they're actually very desperate for attention, even if it doesn't come off that way, because they're codependent. They could be needy. They could have an anxious attachment style, but they're not open and honest about this. So you could think you're getting into one thing with this person, but it's actually the opposite. And this person could really have you on a wild goose chase. Yeah. With the 8 of Wands, that is the sex card. So this person literally could have had a wild or promiscuous past. But as I said, they want to come off as butter doesn't melt. So they could present themselves as holier than thou on social media. We do see the monks here in the 8 of Wands card. The monks on a roller coaster. But that's the reality. They're no monk. They are no nun. This is not their first rodeo. And if this is someone you're connecting with on a romantic level, you're not their first rodeo. But I think the question you may be asking yourself is, am I their only rodeo? Or are they taking me for a ride too? Because with the 7 of Swords, Aquarius could be significant. Someone's investigating and someone has the willpower to make a discovery. So someone could be creeping and spying because they've got info or tea that they want to spill. So this person could have betrayed others in the past. Others could have betrayed them. So it's like hurt people hurt people. This person was hurt in the past, and that's why they're currently hurting people. They're juggling, because even look, he's trying to carry 7 swords, but 2 of them he's dropped already. So this person, they have fumbled the bag when they've had it. They have sabotaged good opportunities, even good lovers they've had in their life. They have either scared these lovers away with their dishonesty or the games that they play, or they just haven't fully committed even to people with true intentions. They could be drawn to drama because they have trauma. It's like trauma attracts drama. So this person could be a bit of a drama llama, a drama king or queen, take as it resonates. But with the 7 of Pentacles, they're trying to gain some self-control. They're trying to focus on their goals. They're trying to nurture and nourish themselves and their dreams. And if this is a love connection, they want to grow with you. they want to turn this, even if it's only new and it's only budding, they want to see that grow into a family tree. You know, they want to see the investment that they've put in pay off. But in the past, they've made bad investments and they've been left broke. Yeah, I'm hearing Smoke Me Broke. What's that song? Talking Body by Tovlo. So yeah, someone loves your body. They could be quite promiscuous, especially in the bedroom department. Yeah, they want you to put it on them. So that song could be significant. That could be how they feel about you. Yeah, especially if you're connecting in that way. Yeah, because with the 8 of Wands here, if you haven't, well, they want to. That is their intentions. Toxic tea. With weather magic manipulation, though, they know how to manipulate because they've been manipulated and they have learned how to manipulate from that. So the fact they get themselves involved in toxic situations or toxic 3-ways, I was going to say, I'm hearing 3 by Britney Spears. You know, are you in? So this person could be asking you, are you in? They could even be bringing up offers to explore in that way, if you know what I mean. So if this person hasn't brought another party into this connection, maybe it's something they are open to or they want to discuss with you. But yeah, it's like you could be fake smiling. You're like, oh yeah, great. But that's not what you really want. So it's about this person having the honesty to completely open up and not be playing these games. This person is like a professional game player and this person needs a coach. They don't need someone who's going to go tit for tat and enable them to play these games. They need someone to call them out on their bullshit because they have a tendency to go too far. They're trying to gain a sense of self-control. I seen 1111. They want to be more responsible, but they might need a helping hand with that because with the 7 of Pentacles, you know, it is about hard work paying off, but sometimes it's nice to get a bit of help with that investment in the first place. So this person is a good investment, but they just might have a tendency to think that the grass is greener instead of fully focusing on their own grass, their own responsibilities. They could have a wandering eye and you could feel like this person is just so hard to pin down that the only solution or remedy for this is an honest and open heart-to-heart discussion about where your heart is at, where their heart is at. And even if this person is a family member or a friend, this could be you talking to them about their love life and telling them that they wouldn't be putting themselves into such dramatic situations if their self-esteem wasn't damaged. So their self-esteem is damaged and their ego is bruised. So they're not the most trusty of companions right now. They're like a cat. They might come and go as they please. They might have multiple owners or multiple lovers. They do have the decency to be ashamed, but they have the audacity to keep on doing it anyway. It's like they know it ain't right, but they do it anyway. So that's what they're doing. They do want to do better, but it's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't teach it how to drink. So you may want and hope for the best with this person, but I would just say don't hold your breath because they may change, but when that will be is anyone's guess. So you keep on doing you while this person is busy doing their own thing. They need to make their mistakes. They may need to learn things the hard way before they learn for good. So you keep on doing you. You embody that independent black cat energy. And if anything, it will have this person crawling back to you in no time. So if you've been, looking for them to give you attention, the tables are going to turn. And by you disattaching yourself and not giving them that attention they crave, they will be crawling back for more, and you might be the one who's actually reevaluating the connection unless you see some sort of accountability and change. So thank you for being here. Let me know down below if you resonated, who this person might be. If you have any feedback or pick a card suggestions, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Personal readings are available. Info is on my homepage. And if we're parting ways here and now, thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting with me. And I hope to see you soon in the next one. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah. Hello and welcome to your reading group 4. So if you chose the Empress, you are here in the right place. So let's spill the tea on your person and tell you all the toxic things that they probably won't tell you. So allow me. First off with the Empress, okay? So regardless of whether this is a feminine or a masculine you are connected with, this person needs to work on their feminine energy with the Empress here. This person needs to work on their feminine energy, and they could have some sort of blockage in regards to their receptiveness. They could have a blockage when it comes to nurture or even creation. So for some of you, this person could be a mother. It could be someone you have children with or someone who has their own children. Maybe you have children with them, but if children aren't a factor in this connection, I feel like this person definitely has mother issues, because we do have 2 queens coming up along with the Empress, which would be the mother card. So there are mother issues somewhere on the table, somewhere in this person's past. They have issues with a mother or motherhood, or you know, the thought of themselves becoming a parent could be an issue for them because they haven't fully come to terms or made peace with their own childhood. So this person could have had a traumatic or stressful childhood, I'm getting. This could have led them to having a bad reputation. Yeah, I'm hearing Jonesy. I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. And sorry about the terrible singing, my glands are swollen. Usually I'm more rock diva than that. But yeah, it's like this person used to be bold and outspoken and, you know, not giving a fuck. But now they're starting to reel it back. In fact, they actually do give a damn about their bad reputation because they've done the work, the self and inner healing work. They're healing their inner child. They realize that their bad reputation, their bad choices came as a result of their own childhood. So they do say people who are victims a lot of the time could become promiscuous as they get older, because it's like they're trying to take back control of certain things in their life. But what they deem as control is actually self-sabotaging because they haven't healed from the pain that was caused to them. So I feel like it wasn't their fault. But when it comes to their healing, they know that it is their responsibility. It's their duty to themselves to heal, even if someone didn't do their duty to them, to be there for them. Yeah. I do feel like for some of you, this person could be an insomniac. They could struggle to sleep. When everyone else is asleep, that's when they could be awake. So they could get very creative at night. They could be nocturnal or a night owl. But this is also due to the fact that their energy is a lot higher at nighttime. They find a sense of comfort in being awake when everyone is asleep. A sense of control. So they do kind of have control issues. Like I said, it could come from a mother figure. But at nighttime, they feel like that's the one time they can be free and not judged. This person was very harshly judged. Maybe even, during their childhood or teenage years when they were in school. They could really have deep issues because they felt judged all their life. And they could feel like that's what leads them to a bad reputation. So this person has a lot of heartbreak in their past, and there's a lot of events that when they allow themselves to go back and think about it, it really gets them deep in their feelings, and they're trying to learn how to heal it but not stay in the past, because they know by running from their issues, it's just allowed them to make bad decisions, and then these bad decisions have given them a bad reputation, and that's not a good review of their character, because that's not them. Their reputation may precede them, but they feel like they're misunderstood and people are taking them out of context. So this person feels misunderstood and taken out of context by society in itself. This person is very proficient and they want to be able to do it all, but their own way. They're very stubborn, and someone could be turning. Someone could have a lisp or a, what's that called with the TH? Is it a lisp? Someone could be turning 40. But yeah, someone just wants to be able to be a one-man show, a one-man band. But this person is realizing that they have a lot of healing to do, and they've actually been drowning in their emotions because they let the emotions from the past build up. So now that they're kind of going back, they do find themselves stuck there like quicksand or drowning because there's a lot of emotions there. This person is very emotional. They may not be quick to show it. With the Queen of Cups, they are very loving. So their love language is by touch, by doing, by giving. But on the flip side of that, this is like their love language here, the Queen of Cups, and then their hate language, the Queen of Wands reverse. So when they love you, they can't do enough for you. When you piss them off or they feel wronged or betrayed by you, they're going to be very dramatic about it. They're going to be very demanding. They're going to throw their rattler out of the pram, sort of a thing. It comes from their own insecurities, their own self-doubt. They could also be aggressive, and they could be very jealous of other people because they worry that what they have will be taken from them because, like I said, their innocence was maybe taken from them in the past, or maybe someone they love, people they loved have been taken from them. They could have experienced a lot of grief, and that could have shaped them, or whatever it was that was taken from them. It's caused them to cling to the wrong things in the past. But with the butterfly spirit, transformation is beautiful. They feel like they're coming out of their cocoon phase into the butterfly phase, like a king or queen sort of energy. They're not fully there yet, but they want to be known as a butterfly instead of a bad rep. So they're in the process of changing. 11 could be significant. I feel like this person in the past, they have cock-blocked themselves from love. They've avoided love very stubbornly. In the past, they've gotten in their own way because with the 8 of Swords here, they weren't seeing reality or the truth for what it was. It's like they were living in Delulu land in the past, and now they're living in a harsh reality, and they're seeing the damage that was done, not only to them, but they're seeing the consequences of their actions on other people. They've hurt people in the past because they've been hurt themselves. They overthink to the point where it's fruitless. There's no capacity to how much overthinking they can do. They can be captive to their own thoughts. And the thing is, they can disempower themselves so quickly, but they want to learn how to empower themselves. So they need someone who is going to remind them of their own power, what they've overcome, someone who reminds them how strong they are and that they are not their past, they are not their reputation. And if they don't like how their life is or was, they can change how it's going to be. They can't live in the past because they're going to stay there. They're drowning in their own thoughts and emotions because they've avoided them for so long. This person could be an avoidant in terms of their love language, but they could also be very anxiously attached in the sense that they'd rather avoid because when they let themselves get attached, then they can't let go, and they get in their own way by not fully letting go of people, things, situations that don't serve them. It's like they were attracted to the same things that broke them. But it's like an offer of love could really be changing the way they view themselves, the way they view love, because they've been getting in their own way. And now it's like they're clearing space or even creating space to make room for some love in their life. Yeah, I'm hearing Love of Your Life by Ray. Yeah, so someone is thinking they could be the love of your life, or they could be thinking you are the love of their life. Group 4, especially if it's on a romantic sense. And if it's a friend or family member, they could be thinking about whoever the love of their life is, whether they know them or they haven't met them yet. This transformation they want that love that's going to transform them, that's going to revive them. And yeah, a revival, because their soul felt dead for a long time. Their ego, it's like they've had an ego death, but because they lived off their ego for so long, they don't want the ego to get in their way. But now that the ego has been, tempered down, they realize that their thoughts are getting in their own way. And then when they're trying to, heal their thoughts, they realize that they have physical trauma or, mental trauma, whatever it is. They want to do it all. They want to be a one-man band. But the reality is they can't. And sometimes they bite off more than they can chew. And, that their eyes are bigger than their belly. Their bark is worse than their bite. They want to come off as more intimidating and powerful than they really are, because they're not fully in their power. They're allowing their past to define them. And what they want is a whole new beginning and a whole new future. With the butterfly spirit here, they want to transform. And with the Queen of Cups, they could feel like this love offer, especially if you're giving it to them, could completely transform them and turn them from, a demanding queen into a loving queen. No matter what their gender is, they want to be loved. They want to love and be loved. But the thing is, it's like in the past, they've just demanded love without doing the actual loving. So they needed to love themselves right. They needed to learn how to love other people right in order for them to understand how to be loved right. So love language is coming up a lot. You could have a different love language from this person, and that's why there could be a miscommunication. But this person is blocked, and maybe their third eye is blocked. They can't fully discern or use their intuition, and that's why maybe they rely on others, because they've never fully trusted themselves enough to completely rely on themselves. So ultimately that's what they want. With 40 here, I'm thinking that no matter what age they are, they could just feel like they're at a midlife crisis in life. So it's sink or swim. So they're going to sink and drown in these thoughts that they've built up. But they want to swim through it. They want to go with the flow. They want to swim with the tide instead of against it. And they don't want their bad reputation to precede them or to cut them off to potential new opportunities. They're not the same person they used to be, but they still have a lot of unhealed pain because of the person they used to be. So they want you to know that they don't want to make the same mistakes they've made in the past with you, but they can't fully rely on themselves not to fuck up, because they feel like they're fucked up because their life has been fucked up. And they lose sleep at night because they worry about everything. They overthink every word they say. And even if you text them, they're so used to feeling rejected. They worry that if they don't hear back from you, that they never will. They're very dramatic, like I said. But this hyper awareness comes from having to be hyper aware, because like I said, they had a lot of pain in the past. Things were taken from them. Maybe their hopes and dreams were dashed or taken from them also. So they want to transform and create a whole new reality for themselves, and maybe with you. But, the Empress can be toxic. She can hex instead of heal if she has not fully come into her power and that nurturing energy. And with the Queen of Wands reversed, it's like they have all the potential to give all the nurture and love in the world. They have the potential to heal the world, but they need to stop being so self-destructive, and they need to stop blocking themselves and getting in their own way. So they could find reasons to sabotage love that comes into their life, but it's because they're not used to being loved right. They didn't have the right example set, and they do want to lead by example, but they need to learn some new ways and strategies. And I feel like this will help them on their journey. Right now, they can't see a way forward, but they're feeling a change. They're feeling this transformation, and they're feeling the love too. But they just worry if they give too much, they'll be left with nothing, or they're worried that something will be taken or snatched from them again. So that's why they can be a bit precious and a little bit closed off, even frugal with their emotions and the truth sometimes, because sometimes they think the truth is too hard to bear. They ran away from the truth for long enough. So they mightn't fully be completely open about it just yet, but they want to get there with you, but they're still getting there. They have all the potential in the world, but they need to believe in themselves and realize that the world is within them, and everything they've been seeking is found in them too. So maybe you've been sent to them to give them this beautiful reminder and to help them transform within this connection. So thank you for being here. Let me know down below if you resonated, if you have any feedback on what you'd like to see next. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All the info is on my homepage if you're looking for a personal reading. And if we're parting ways right here, right now, please make sure to come back and connect with me again in the next one. Thank you for sharing your energy. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah.